that blood and things, because dissection was very messy back then. However, there was a shift that happened in medicine. There's an 1889 historical painting of a famous clinic at the University of Pennsylvania that depicts a physician by the name of Dr. Agnew wearing a white coat performing surgery. This painting began to shift the image of doctors, associating them with being clean and sanitary versus them being seen as snake oil salesmen of the past. In 1892, Sir William Osler, who was a renowned pathologist, published a textbook highlighting the value of cleanliness and antisepsis as one of the foundations of medical science. By 1915, white coats were standard for surgeons and progressed to be standard for all doctors, nurses, resident physicians, fellows, and medical students by the end of World War II. Historically, the length of the white coat was determined by training and offered a way for patients to identify the role of various clinicians. Typically, students wear short white coats, while those who are practicing as a clinician wear longer white coats. The first white coat ceremony was held in 1989 at the University of Chicago after a medical school professor complained to the dean of the school about the lack of professional dress by the medical students. Our students can also tell you about those conversations. The dean developed a white coat ceremony to have the students be mindful of their appearance as they engage with patients. Then in 1993, at Columbia University, the faculty expanded this ceremony, and they had a full-fledged white coat ceremony for their first-year medical students. The physician, who was critical in developing this ceremony, wanted students to remember and think about the type of clinician they wanted to be. And he, in fact, made them recite the Hippocratic Oath. He wanted, again, that oath to be at the forefront of everything that they did. From the white coats worn as a sign of respect to the shift to white coats as a sign of cleanliness within the medical profession, we should see the symbol of this coat as respect and honor to our patients. But also we should see it as a continued learning and a continued path to seek knowledge. White coat ceremonies have evolved, and many health professions, including the PA professions, have them. The timing of the ceremony varies across the 312 PA programs here in the US, but for this program, holding this ceremony at the transition from the classroom training to the clinical training of the program honors the hard work, dedication, and application of knowledge that these students have demonstrated. As they go into the clinical phase of training, the expectation, is that they continue to honor both the art and science of medicine as they partner their knowledge with the lived experiences of the patients that they will care for.
Thank you, Professor Carruthers. Next, we will have the introduction of the speaker by Michelle Drumgo, Program Director, followed by the keynote address.
Good morning. Dr. Shani Fleming has dedicated her career to advancing cultural humility, social justice, and health equity within the healthcare community. As a clinically experienced physician assistant, she has worked across diverse settings, including family medicine, adolescent medicine, infectious disease, and urgent care. Currently, Dr. Fleming serves as an associate professor at the University of Maryland Graduate School, where she teaches in the PA program and the MSDEIL program. She is the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Officer for the School of Graduate Studies and represents the faculty of the School of Graduate Studies as a member of the President's Diversity Advisory Council. With extensive experience in curriculum development, Dr. Fleming has designed comprehensive curriculum maps, instructional objectives, learning outcomes, and assessments aligned with program milestones, competencies, and graduate outcomes. She is a recognized leader in diversity, equity, and inclusion, actively engaging in national and state initiatives that support underrepresented racial and ethnic high school and college students in pursuing careers in PA education. Additionally, she is a strong advocate for faculty of color, working to foster inclusive and just academic environments for faculty, staff, and students. A proud HBCU graduate, Dr. Fleming earned her undergraduate degree from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. She holds an MPH, MSHS, and PAC from George Washington University and completed her PhD in Language, Literacy, and Culture at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Please welcome Dr. Fleming.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, okay. Let's start by acknowledging the obvious. You've made it this far through the didactic year, which means that, oh goodness, now it's dark over here. Let's see, where's the light? Okay, all right, so let me start over. Let's start by acknowledging the obvious. You've made it this far through the didactic year, which means at least 3 things. 1, you're brilliant. 2, Quizlet knows more about your life than your actual best friend. And 3, you've woken up at least once questioning your life choices. Okay, so I'm honored to speak with you today as you stand on the edge of this exciting transition. This next chapter will challenge you, stretch you, and ultimately shape you into the provider you're becoming. But before you step into this space, I want to remind you of something simple and powerful. You already have what it takes to thrive. This moment is about more than just checking off rotations. It's about perspective, keeping your vision clear when things get hard. It's about preparation, not just academic, but also emotional and mental readiness as well. It's about purpose. It's about holding on to your why when days get long. I'm going to talk about 3 things: perspective, preparation, and purpose. Because when you stay rooted in who you are and what matters most, you won't just survive clinical year, you'll grow through it. Am I supposed to advance this on this? Yep, okay. It's about to get real, like real, okay? I don't know about y'all, but didactic year, yeah, it wasn't really my favorite. Sitting in the classroom for hours and hours and hours, reviewing PowerPoints, like your life depended on it. It was a constant grind. And then suddenly, after a year locked in the classroom of what felt like an academic bubble, someone swings the door open and says, okay, go practice medicine. I'm like, what? You know, when I was in PA school at GW, I was the only Black student in the entire cohort. The experience came with a weight that I can't really unpack in this moment, but it was tough. I struggled, not only with, being the only one, but also with the pace of the curriculum. It was so much information in such a short amount of time. There was a pressure to perform in a system, in a space that wasn't necessarily created for me. But deep down, I always knew this. My strength would shine in the presence of patients, real people, real problems, my people, where I'm able to make a real impact. That's where I come alive. And now it's your turn. Clinical year is unlike anything you've done before. It's exciting, it's exhausting, it's transformational. But let's be honest, it can also feel overwhelming. You may walk into a new clinical site and wonder, am I gonna be seen? Will I be valued? Will I make it through? So let me remind you again of something simple and true. You already have what it takes. Everything you need to succeed is already in you. Today is about remembering that and choosing that every day and leaning into it. You are entering your clinical year in what we equality practitioners call VUCA, right? VUCA is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. From ICE raids happening to anti-DEI to these tariffs, it's a lot. This political climate is shaky, the rules keep changing, and some days it feels like you're being punked, looking around, waiting for the camera crew to come out and say, gotcha. But this is the world we live in. The ground feels unsteady, and the expectations are still very, very high. And that's exactly why perspective matters. Whether it's a global health crisis, social unrest, or personal battles, this is the world you walked into, that we're all walking into. But here's the thing, chaos isn't new. Neither are storms, and neither is your strength. The good news, you don't have to wait until you graduate to be the kind of provider that makes a difference. You already are. You've got the training, the heart, the resilience, and now you're getting ready to have the opportunity to put all that into practice. When the world feels like it's spinning, your values are your anchor. They remind you of who you are when everything else feels uncertain. So let me ask you, what do you believe in? What truly matters to you? These aren't just like foo-foo concepts, right? They are your internal concept, your internal compass, your personal GPS when the clinical rotations may feel like a roller coaster. What do you stand for? Compassion, excellence, not passing out in the OR. That was my thing, like all the time. I had to have a stool in the side, and they just said, you're nice, but surgery's not your thing. These are your guiding principles, your personal mission statement, your North Star. Because when things get chaotic, and they will, when patients are piling up, when a staff member comes in, they have an attitude and they're stressed, or some kid sneezes on you, that was the worst. Like, you're like, say right in your face. It's your values that will keep you grounded. You take a deep breath in, you breathe, you're okay, right? So for me, I value equity, compassion, and authenticity. In every room I walk into, whether it's family medicine or a national conference, I carry those values with me. They help me show up, even when I'm exhausted, even when I am the only one in that space. So again, let's pause for a moment. What are your values? What helps you show up? What's your North Star? And let's think about this from a place of integrity, right? So not because PD, Professor C, Dr. Will, not because they ask you to demonstrate these certain values in the classroom. What are your values when no one is watching? What do you stand on 10 toes down? Let's be real. Some mornings, especially during this kind of time, you may wake up feeling and thinking, wait, what day is it again? Where am I supposed to be? Do I even like people anymore? Honestly, I like my dogs, Duke and Prince, better than most people on most days. Well, that's okay, right? There will be days when you feel like you've landed in the twilight zone, confused, overwhelmed, maybe even questioning your place in it all. But that's a part of the journey. I still have mornings where I wonder, is this the same world where I was obsessed with Hamilton and memorizing all the lyrics and singing, like life just felt great. But yep, it's this same world. But it's also a world where that desperately needs you, grounded, committed, and guided by your values. When things feel chaotic, always come back to your why, your values, your mission. That's your compass when the road feels unclear. I hope some of those values that you thought about include integrity, compassion, justice, honesty, family, joy. Joy is very important, and you should always kind of keep that at the forefront, and respect. So whatever they are, they're yours to define and carry forward. So you hear it often, right? Put on your mask first before helping everybody else. It's not cliche, it's a survival strategy. You can't show up for your patients if you're running on empty. Sleep, take care of yourself, eat well, breathe. Self-care isn't selfish. You have to preserve your energy and mental health to show up fully in your clinical year. So let's talk about self-care. So it's not the Instagram kind, right, where you're posting yourself and, yes, I have peace, right? So I'm talking about real life boundaries. Sleep, movement, exercise, say no without having to send a block text, right? No is enough, no period, right? Establish your boundaries. With that being said, don't be out here snatching joy from everybody else's cup either. You can't walk around like the world revolves around you, catching an attitude when things don't go your way, or ignoring other people's boundaries. It's a two-way street, right? You need care, but you also need to be someone who fills other cups too. Be kind, be respectful, have humility in every space you enter. That's what makes this journey sustainable and meaningful. I love the 8-8-8 rule. I've learned this from a colleague who right now is going through chemotherapy. And it's 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, and 8 hours for yourself, right? So it's a simple gut check for balance. So what's your ratio right now? Where is the imbalance creeping in, right? So what's about to happen maybe is that some of y'all are going to be out here surviving on 4 hours of sleep, 12 hours in the clinic, 8 hours of Netflix. So that's not balance. That's a setup for burnout. But be honest, are you pouring into everyone else while ignoring your own needs? It's very important to kind of check in daily, do an audit, right? What's grounding you and what's draining you? I didn't learn this overnight. It took years of running on empty to realize I can't show up for patients if I'm completely depleted. So please, again, put your own oxygen mask on and then go save the world. I don't know if any of you have heard of Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan, so when things feel heavy, we talk about like zooming out, right? Carl Sagan once reflected on a photo of Earth taken from 4 billion miles away. In it, our entire planet is just that speck right there, like a little small pixel, a pale blue dot, suspended, right? He said, that's here, that dot, that little small dot, that's home, that's us, that's Earth. Every joy, every heartbreak, every all-nighter, every awkward moment you're gonna have with your preceptor, it's gonna happen on that tiny, tiny dot, right? So it just helps us to reimagine how important we really are in the grand scheme of things, right? Like we are literally just in that small dot. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? If you messed up on the test, let it go. That time you maybe said something awkward to the preceptor, don't ruminate over it. Let it go. It's small stuff. In the grand scheme of things, you are doing just fine. Stay grounded, stay humble, laugh when you can, learn when you must, and always remember, we're all just trying to figure it out on that very small, tiny dot together. Meharry has prepared you. That's what HBCUs do. As a proud HBCU graduate, shout out to UMES, I know firsthand the power of community, resilience, and legacy that these institutions carry. Yes, sometimes we critique them, we do, from a deficit lens. We talk about what's missing, what could be better, but let's be real, for many of us, this program gave us a chance that others never would. Opportunities were created here, seeds were planted here, so stay humble. Respect what this and other HBCUs represent. It's not about the buildings or the budget, it's about the people, the culture, the shared mission to push past barriers that often feel insurmountable. HBCUs are sacred spaces where you learn not just academics, but how to survive, how to thrive, how to show up as your whole authentic self. At UMES, I learned some of the most important lessons that don't come from a textbook. They come from the challenges you face and how you might move through them. The lessons I carried with me into clinical practice, into clinical education, into this fight for social justice and healthcare, I really, really had that foundation from the HBCU. So as you enter into your clinical year, remember, Meharry gave you a solid foundation. You've trained your brain to think clinically. Now it's your time to train your heart to care holistically. Trust that foundation. Preparation is your superpower. Clinical year is basically like Top Shelf, a Hell's Kitchen. I don't know if y'all watch, I love cooking shows. So you're expected to perform miracles under pressure, stay calm, and smile while you're doing it. 1 minute you may be suturing, the next you're walking into a room with a patient with hypertension who doesn't want to hear it, I don't want to talk about that. And then you're still trying to figure out where is the gauze, right? So relationships matter. Build rapport with everybody, with everyone, your patients, the nurses, the techs, the folks who are cleaning your rooms. Make friends with whoever knows where the warm blankets are, because you never know where those are, so make friends with them. Clinical year is all about connections. Smile when you can. That joy thing is so important. Laugh when you need to. Remember, you are in a privileged position to care for others. Never take that for granted. And while professionalism, it isn't automatic, it's a choice you have to make every single day. As an HBCU trained scholar and as a provider of color, let's be real. Sometimes scrutiny is different for us. Some preceptors will have incredibly high expectations. Others may underestimate you before you even open your mouth, but none of that defines you. You are not here by accident, and continue to tell yourself that. I'm speaking from experience. You are not here by accident. You earned your spot. You are the exception. You are excellent. You are the example of what needs to be there in the clinics. So walk in that excellence. Let every interaction, every outfit you wear, every attitude, every post you think about posting on social media, let it reflect that excellence. Let your professionalism speak before you do. Your professionalism and kindness will open doors you didn't even know were locked. As Black and brown providers, we carry both power and pride, but let's be honest, we also carry the weight of bias. Whether it's from patients, from colleagues, or systems that weren't built with us in mind, the scrutiny can be real. Implicit bias exists, and sometimes you feel it before you even say a word. But that's not on you. That's not your burden to carry alone. Bias says more about them than it ever could about you. Your skin is beautiful. Your training is solid. Your presence in these spaces is earned. Again, professionalism isn't always assumed. We have to model it consistency. So stay sharp, stay aware. Let your excellence speak louder than anyone's assumptions. Remember, melanin, it is magic, but even magic needs strategy. We're often expected to be both exceptional and perfect. It is a lot, but we have to do it. We've always done it. So move through these spaces with pride and intention. Let your work reflect your brilliance. You belong here, you're ready. Keep shining and never shrink. This is a transition. Yes, you're entering your clinical year in this volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, but you are not stepping into it empty-handed. You are equipped with the tools, just like this hiker, preparing for rocky terrain. Your preparation is your sturdy boots. I don't know, looking at your shoes, I don't know how many of y'all would wear some boots, but they're nice. Your perspective is the map that helps you navigate rough paths. Your purpose is the rope that keeps you anchored when things get steep. And you have your North Star, your values, your mission, your community. When the trail gets unclear or the fog rolls in, that inner compass will guide you. And when you find yourself clinging to a ledge of self-doubt, remember, you didn't stumble here, you climbed. You are not here by accident. You are on purpose, with purpose, and you're more ready than you know. So you got this. You got this. Lean on your peers. Lean on your mentors. Lean on your values. This road wasn't meant to be walked alone. Community is part of the calling. You've got a solid foundation. You've sharpened your mind. You've clarified your mission. You have cultivated resilience in your bones. Whether the world feels like, right now, remember, keep your North Star in your pocket and also some snacks, okay? And keep your purpose in your heart. You are entering your clinical year not just as a student, but as a future provider, a healer. You are part of a legacy. I am looking at future Black excellence, that you're getting ready to be in white coats, and I'm beyond proud. So when imposter syndrome creeps in, and it will, or someone dares to question you or underestimate you, you keep your perspective, you stay grounded, you guard your peace. And when the days feel heavy, take a breath and channel your inner Kendrick Lamar. They not like us. They not like us. You come from Meharry. You are the product of an HBCU legacy, one rooted in resilience, excellence, and community. And every time you step into a room, carry that with you. Keep your head up. And so before I go, I'll leave you with a few affirmations because they are very true. You are ready. You are capable. You are equipped. You are needed. You are enough. You've got this, and we got you. Thank you.
You got this. Thank you, Dr. Fleming. Next, we will have the presentation of White Coats and Pens by Professor Drumgold, Founding Program Director, and Dr. Eric Jackson, Medical Director, followed by the Oath of Commitment by Professor Destiny Fowler.
Troy Adkins II. Yvette Amoa. Jada Anthony. Nicholas Baca. Rashonda Baker. Jalen Davis. Devontae Evans. Nebi Gebra. Jada Gullidge. Kiera Haynes. Jasmine Jackson. Jada Jant. Jessica Jant. Bernadine Janae Johnson. Patricia Mojoinjesu Ojubaro. Dipali Bajaj Oliver. Aaron Port. Aaliyah Richardson. Adam Rose.
Say yo baby, yo baby, yo.
Dominique Scott. Ariel Shaw. Chanel Stallings.
Good afternoon. Before we recite the PA oath, I would like to address the class of 2026. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today on this exciting occasion to mark your transition from didactic to clinical phase. This day is not just a ceremony, but a rite of passage, a moment to pause and recognize the journey that you have taken here and the immense journey that lies ahead. Think back to your very first day of PA school. You walked into this program with ambition, curiosity, and probably a lot of uncertainty. You pored over textbooks, sat through hours of lectures, immersed yourself in countless diseases, drug classes, anatomical and physiological processes, and probably more acronyms than you knew even existed. You learned to think like clinicians, to ask the right questions, and to listen not only with your ears, but with empathy. And today you stand here ready to take the next step. Clinical rotations are not just an extension of your education. They are the heart of your transformation from student to clinician. You will be invited into some of the most sacred spaces in healthcare: the exam room, the operating room, the hospital bedside, and perhaps most profoundly into the stories of the patients' lives that you encounter every single day. Never forget that it is a profound privilege to be welcomed in those spaces. When a patient allows you into the private exam room, they are trusting you, not only with their symptoms, but with their fears, their questions, and all of their vulnerabilities. They are often doing so without knowing your full name, your background, or even the level of your experience. But what they do know is that you are wearing that white coat. And with that white coat comes a promise, the physician assistant oath, which we will all recite today. It is not a formality, but is a commitment to that promise. So use the oath as a blueprint to guide you when you're exhausted after a long shift and you have one more consult to do. Let it steady you when you make a mistake and you have to own that mistake. Let it remind you always of the sacred responsibility that you carry every day when you enter clinic. The oath speaks to putting patient first, upholding integrity of our profession, and committing to a lifelong learning. But it is also deeply personal. It asks you not to just to treat a disease, but to treat the person, to serve with compassion, to practice with humility, and to act with courage. As you begin your clinical year, know that you are no longer just learning medicine, but you are becoming medicine in action. You will learn to be a part of thousands of moments, big and small, that shape your patient's story. You may hold a hand in grief, you may deliver some good news, explain a simple diagnosis, or offer comfort in the face of the unknown. You will make a difference. So class of 2026, please know that you are ready. And now, as we honor the readiness, we will ask you, all members of class of 2026, and any PAs in the room who wish to reaffirm their commitment, to please stand and join us in reciting the PA oath, which you can find in the back of your program. Ready? All right. So the physician's assistant's professional oath. I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve their medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor. You may be seated. Now, following the oath, we will have our very own Jada Anthony have some remarks for the students.
Good morning, students, faculty, staff, and family. My name is Jada Anthony, a proud member of the class of 2026, and I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I know we're all ready to get to refreshments and celebrate, but before we do, I hope you'll give me a few minutes to reflect on how far we've come and the journey for what it took for us to get here today. Coming into PA school, no one said it would be easy, because if it was, everyone would do it, right? Exactly. I vividly remember our first semester stuck in the middle of a snowstorm trying to learn the brachial plexus. Some of us spent hours drawing on whiteboards. Some of us spent hours watching YouTube videos or rewriting notes until we realized that wasn't the best use of our time. It wasn't about memorizing, it was about understanding and learning concepts. And I'll be honest, I thought rewatching a YouTube video over and over would save me, but I had to ask myself, am I actually learning or am I just memorizing this acronym MARMU, which were the nerves of the brachial plexus? I'll never forget the first time I saw MARMU in a cadaver lab and yelled, "Oh, that's MARMU." And Professor C said, "Baby, I don't know what MARMU is." But in that moment, I realized, sure, I could spot the structures, but could I actually explain it? Not really. I tell that story because every semester there was something that as a class we struggled with until it finally clicked.
First semester, it was finding our footing and figuring out how to study. Summer semester was ending the great debate between what goes in a BMP versus a CMP during case studies. And did we really need to order both? In fall, it was surviving cardio and suturing, and yes, still getting grilled during case studies. And let's be real, 9 times out of 10, Janae had the answer before anybody. And I started to wonder, was she already a PA and she was just gaslighting us as a student? As we head into clinicals, every day will be a new case study though. And no, it won't be the same. No more watching Abbott Elementary or the pit during lunch or the floor. No more accidental Jeopardy tournaments that got a little too competitive. Yeah, we only did that once out of the 16 months. No more of Dom's, well, if you don't know it by now, you're too late. Or Chanel's Hey Bookies in the morning. Or passing Adam as he take a lap around the same hall 10 times. Or seeing Troy's crisp and starch white t-shirt every day. But seriously, through it every moment, every Monday through Friday, and most weekends too, we learned, we struggled, and we grew together. We've come a long way from our first debates in Dr. Wyatt's class to last week's final group presentation at ACM. And believe me, we're nowhere near done. We've got way more work to do, a lot more. But we get to celebrate how far we've recognized and come today. Today, we deserve to recognize the work, the late night, the moments we almost gave up but didn't, because whether we had to pass or whether we failed, passed, or had to remediate, we kept pushing, we kept striving, we kept showing up. And that's why we're standing here today in our white coat. But for right now, part 1 of the book is done, and part 2 begins to be written on May 19th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anthony, for those words. Now we will have closing remarks by Professor Drumgold.
All right, to Dr. Hildreth, Dean Lindsay, faculty, staff, and family and friends of the class of 2026, thank you for all being here today, and thank you for your support of our students and our program. To the class of 2026, I know you are tired of hearing me talk, but I have one final message for you today before you go out on clinical rotations, and that message is simply this: do what you have to do now so that one day you can do what you want to do. These next 12 months will be filled with long days, unexpected obstacles, and moments of exhaustion, but they will be filled with growth, purpose, and the kind of learning that only the experience of treating patients can bring. Live how no one lives now so that you can live how no one lives later. This experience will stretch you and shape you. You'll face long days, tough cases, and moments of uncertainty. But I challenge you all in those moments to use the strength of your experiences and the courage of Kayla as motivation to become the compassionate providers you are destined to be. And as I close, I'll leave you with the same charge I gave the class of 2025. Use your white coat as a reminder to be compassionate, as a shield against despair, and as a testament to your unwavering commitment, resilience, and capacity to grow. You are ready. Congratulations.
Good morning. I just have to say, when I look out at this audience, this is a good-looking group. What do I see? I see pride, I see love, I see support. I'd like to ask our students to stand up and recognize your support systems. Thank you. They are here for you. That is evident. The School of Graduate Studies congratulates the Physician Assistant Class of 2026 for choosing us for your education, for studying diligently during the preclinical phase, and for achieving white coat status. A year from now, we'll be gathering at commencement to celebrate the completion of the program for you. Between now and then, as Professor Drumgold said, continue to prepare yourself. The effort you put in now will establish your clinical foundation. With your passion, your faith, and your willingness to apply yourself, you are ensuring that your foundation is as strong and will last throughout your entire career. The School of Graduate Studies is proud of you and all that you have accomplished to date. Remember the Meharry motto, worship of God through service to humankind. Continue to make us proud and to know that we are here to help you along the way. That's the Meharry way. Congratulations on your achievements, and thank you for being a Meharryan.
So before we get to the benediction by Dr. Hildreth, we have one announcement. We're going to have the students recess out and take pictures in the back. And so we're going to ask all the parents and loved ones to just remain seated in here until they're finished with their pictures, okay? Thank you. Dr. Hildreth.
So can we give the students one more round of applause, please? Outstanding. So thank you all for being here this morning. And as you leave, please receive now this blessing. Now may the grace of God, the peace of Christ, and the sweet communion of the Holy Spirit be with all of you now, henceforth, and forever. It is in the matchless name of Jesus, the risen Christ, I pray. Hallelujah. Amen.
Ask the faculty to leave first, please.